Hello, my name is Hango, and in this webcast we're going to be able to find out about Senate acts, find out about criminal cases, find out about advisory opinions, and find out about an act's history, as well as finding places where you as a justice can be supported. One of the things you'll need to be able to do is to find some acts. You might have an advisory opinion case pending in which it's all about a criminal act. A great place to go, first of all, is the Law Index. If you click the Law Index here, you'll find a list of alphabetical list of acts with executive orders, and they've been revised, which means that the Senate clerk has made sure the index is nice and neat. Any acts in green are constitutional acts. Let's say you want to figure out where classification as a concept appears. One thing you can do is open this an act in a new tab, go to it, and then press Ctrl and F. Once you press Ctrl and F, depending on your browser, it may appear here, or in my case, it appears right at the bottom here. I can start typing classifications. I've typed in class here. I'm going to try to say highlight all. It's then going to highlight any cases where the word class appeared. In this case, nowhere here. It's highly likely, therefore, that this act doesn't have to do with classification. However, you may still need to have a quick read of it. It may appear in the criminal code. So you Control F and type in class and set highlight all, and it will highlight cases where classification has occurred. For example, class, and class here, which will enable you to think, wait a minute, section 13 is all about classified information, therefore I need to take a good look at that. It may sound weird, but yes, you do have to go through each and every single act. A nice easy thing to do, however, is before you even start, is to open the act and just highlight the plain text here and copy and paste that. I'm copying and pasting it into a Word file. Once you've got all the acts in a big Word file, then you can do Control F really quickly. This same trick of putting lots of things into a Word file and pressing Control and F to find all is also useful for advisory opinions. Advisory opinions can be found if you go to the main page Europea, then the High Court subforum, and then you need to go to the High Court archives. Once you're at the High Court archives, you go to the advisory opinion archives here. You are then, the best place to go is the index of advisory opinions. Bear in mind, this may not have been updated really recently, so you may need to go to the front page. The front page for the High Court is here. Is here. Now, if you've got anything that hasn't been put in the index, it would still be here. For example, the state continuity advisory opinion given on May 2015 hasn't been put into the index, and we know it hasn't because it's been said it's been updated on the 20th December 2014. Now, the title will give you some idea, but unfortunately, that's all they'll give you. It's really useful, however, for you to copy and paste it contents, and we're not looking for the entire thread, we're just looking for the judgment, and often the judgment will be the last one of the last posts. You'll know it's a judgment because it will say citation and judgment for the most recent ones. For other ones it may differ. You may need to go to your it may differ. Once you've got this huge selection of acts and advisory opinions, what you can do is do Control F. But that's not all. Not only do you have advisory opinions and acts, you also have criminal cases. They are still found in the High Court archives. Go to the High Court archives, go to criminal cases. Now here, it will be very difficult for you, by just looking at the title of these acts and the index, to figure out what they apply to. a really great place to go to. It's not the first post, but slightly down here in the second post. It's got cases by keyword. So according to the justices, what are all the cases to do with treason, what are all the cases to do with identity, censoring, civil disobedience, etc., etc. This might be useful to start off. So we've spoken about how to find acts, cases and advisory opinions. There is one more section of advisory opinions called Attorney General opinions, which may be useful to you. You will need to go to the High Court, and once you're at the High Court you will need to go to Court Services. In Court Services, the Attorney General's office is there. You click the Attorney General's offices and you will find an index of Attorney General opinions. These do not have the force of law, but they are advice given by a premier state official, so it may be useful for you to read. Secondly, and this is, you may be required to look at an act's history. Let's say, for example, we want to find out the history of the Elections Act. We click the Elections Act and we're given to a page which has got the first post is always a plain text post, and when we go down we get text with amendments, and the last point is legislative history. It will tell you when it became law. It became law on the 6th of March 2015. You go to the 6th of March 2015. Now that's actually incorrect. You say the 8th of March, or you go down, so we know that this has been passed on the 8th of March. Because this has been passed on the 8th of March, we know exactly where to look in the Senate archives. So you go back to the main page of Europea. Once you're on the main page of Europea, go to Senate, and then you want to go to Senate archives. And once you are there, you want to figure out where you can find the 8th of March 2015. It's not here on the archives because they're according to last post date, so it must be on the main page. You go to the main page of the Senate, it's over here, and then you will find 8th of March, down somewhere around here. That's 34 replies. We click that, and what we have here, for the most effectively very recent acts, all the voting and discussion happening in one place. So all the voting and all the commentary here. There may be situations where you need to go back much further. Let's say you go to the Senate archives and we pick a random one, let's say page 15. Go to page 15, and what we have is a style where we have first reading and then second reading, and then what you'll have to do is look at the titles here. Let's say you wanted to figure out what the history of an act was pre-law reforms. What you need to go to Republic of Europea, and then you just scroll all the way down until you get to the Pine Euro Regional Library. You then need to go to the, not the law index point 2, but just the law archives. If you click the law archives here, you've got a frozen index of what was pre-law reforms. It's really important for you to read this one first. We'll read that first here. All topics in this subform contain the old law index, reserved for prosperity and the researcher. These documents are no longer in force. Queries should be at first instance made to the Senate clerk. The Senate clerk can be accessed via his PM button here. It might be useful to look at the statutory laws, and these are this is where they've put all the laws in one huge thread. So it's actually very easy if you just look here to type in, let's say, class, and nothing on class has appeared at all in this third page. Let's look at the third page here and type in class again, and we have some we've got 1 of 9 matches. So we have we have some bits of classification here. In the first match, it's in January the 21st, 2010, the European Intelligence Act. Now, here you can copy and paste intelligence and use that to search in these Senate archives, which will then give you a history of the concept of classification, which may be useful to you in your future careers. So let's say we've done all this research and using the tips and tricks that I've shown you here, for example, using a Word file to contain all the little bits of things you need, and all you do is press Control F to find things really, really quickly. Where can you find support? You can find support in the JTC. The JTC is found in the High Court forum and the training centre, not the training centre back end if you've got access to that, but the judicial training centre, the JTC. Click that, you'll find lots and lots of posts here. It's not intended that you directly click these posts, but it's intended you click this first, to click that first. And you're given to an index. This index contains everything you need to help you make your judgments. There's a textbook, there's a drafting guide for looking at interregional law, there's a guide to write your arguments, judicial precedents, statutory interpretation, evidence, protections, etc., etc. This is all really, really useful stuff here. This is where you can find your support. Support can also be found in the Bar Association. The Bar Association, you go to the High Court, and then you have to go to the Court Services and the European Bar Association. There is a apply for the Bar Association thread. You click that, and the very, very, very first post, even though this gives me the last post, the very first post is a list of people here who might be able to help you. If you need some help in researching, this list of people here are the most likely people to help you. I hope that this has been useful to you. In this video we've looked at how to find acts, cases, advisory opinions, so 2 types of advisory opinions, and acts history, and where to find support. Thank you very much for listening.